or somewhere past the moon.
Nice.
That's
And
awesome.
I was like, okay, so now I'll only take half.
Oh, hey, Alice. Fancy seeing you here at the place I always see you at. You walked in at a momentous time, as usual. You seem to have good timing about that. We got Will from Sleeper Signal. You remember him. And, of course, Kris Jackson. You remember him as well. Will has a new single coming out April 15th.
That's right.
Raise the Black Flag.
We are very, very excited.
Along with the music video, right?
That's right. That's right.
And then you're playing a show on the 14th at the Basement also.
Yep. It's going to be a part of their Get Happier Fridays. It's going to be on their outdoor stage. I'm hoping for good weather and riffs aplenty.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good show. I love the Basement.
Basement East. You can't go wrong. Yeah. Really, really excited to be a part of it. In fact, when we reached out about it, they seemed very pleased to have heard from us and booked us rather quickly. So that was also very cool and kind of them. So we were blessed.
No surprises. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you. We try to be.
Fucking rocking, bro.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you played the Basement, or?
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah. I mean, but also not so surprisingly because when we had first got started, we played 2 shows. The first one was at the Crying Wolf, and the second one was at the End. And then a week after that, we got shut down for COVID. So it's good to be back out there. Yeah. But it was not a bad thing. We got to regroup in our own way and be around one another in our studio, rehearsing, writing, getting to know each other. Because I had only lived here a little less than a year at that point. And so the guys in the band were still, that we were close, new to me. So I think that everything really shook out in the way that it was supposed to. And though they were hard and difficult times for everybody, we ended up prevailing. So it was a little blessing in an odd disguise.
It's good perspective.
Yeah. You got to stay positive.
I mean, I mean, when presented with challenges, like you said, you just kind of stay positive. Like that can make a person, like. It can really, that's, what am I looking for here? Like refinement,
I agree wholeheartedly.
Pressure makes diamonds.
That's right.
And sometimes you got to spiral out of control.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and it certainly,
let that happen too.
Dude, I'll tell you, it felt like that too, because I was freaking out. I can't be not in a state of constant motion, so I felt... When the shutdown happened, I felt like so many folks around me were like, no, it's fine. We could all use a break. And I was like, hell nah, dude. Like, come on, man. I'm just getting started. This is not fair. Like, what do I do? I'm going to have to move back with my parents. Like, fuck. Like, I just got to Nashville. What is going on? I couldn't even play the guitar, man. I felt like I was being stripped of something, like a freedom, And
Fuck,
so
when
it was
did you move
weird.
here?
I moved here April 5th, 2019. So, I mean, I had enough time getting myself situated, but just when things started taking off, in a positive way, it got taken away for a brief moment. But, I think we really tried our best to stick with it, and I'm glad we did. So.
Yeah, man. Me too.
Yeah.
April 4th is my birthday. That's funny.
Yeah. So you got one coming up.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny that you moved here April 5th.
That's crazy.
What are you doing for your birthday?
Actually, Alice, you're invited. We're gonna be partying on the Bento Living Hotel rooftop.
The what living?
There's a hotel. Where's that?
Didn't we? Haven't we been
living?
Yeah, we went
been
there
together.
Yeah, we saw Winton
Winton
existing there,
exactly.
and Cody Parson and the Heavy Change.
Do I get to come?
Dude, fuck
No, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
yeah, bro. They got.
We'll be there. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
it's a badass rooftop, and they have a bar up there.
Dude, say less.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, dude.
We'll be celebrating. How
Yeah,
many?
That's a fun place, man.
How many rotations around this sun have you had?
This will be. I'll turn 27 in April.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Happy early birthday.
Like half a month from now. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Very nice.
I've celebrated my birthday like once or twice in my life because when I was growing up, for like religious reasons, that wasn't part of my upbringing.
I remember you mentioned that last time we spoke on the podcast. Yeah. Well, dude, we'll make it one to remember.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I can guarantee.
Let's
it.
rage.
Let's
and
do
then
it.
you should stop celebrating it.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Well, I'm turning 27, so the odds of that might be good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, dude, I
For
was
sure.
27 was a wild ride for me, and yeah, I remember turning 28, and I felt like a weight was lifted from my shoulders in a tremendous way, and yeah, it was.
You can finally stop looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, there were some close calls. I will be honest with you, but but a lot of good things happened. So, yeah.
27 was a wild year for me as well. I was just thinking that. I was like, wow, what an experience. My daughter's mom and I, that's when I like kicked her out of my house and moved on from that situation finally.
It's a big turning point in a young man, well, any young person's life altogether. That's like you're almost 30, you're not in your mid-20s, like things get a little bit more serious, you know. And
yeah, and that was why like I finally had to. It was time.
Yeah.
Literally the day after my 27th birthday, February 3rd. I was like, all right, let's go.
When I turned 27, I was fortunate enough to be out in Arizona. I was in Sedona with my folks. And I remember my New York friends called me, because there's a time difference. Hey, Willie, yo, happy birthday. And I was like, not yet. And my Tennessee homies called me, and I said, I got 1 hour left. And a person I was friendly with at the time called me, and she said, you can't run anymore. It's time. And I said, yeah, you're right. Shoot.
Right?
Yeah. Kris, you have a show coming up. I think this episode is going to be out after your show.
Fuck.
But just in case,
That's fine.
you're playing
It
a show
is
with
soon.
you're playing a show with Anastasia Elliot. At also, where's that at?
The East Room.
The East Room.
That's right. I saw the flyer for that today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Please. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be. So you're.
And I'm doing. Yeah, it's also an interesting show because I'm doing. It's me instead of a band, but I also have a full band playing with me.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so I wrote all the songs, or some of them are covers, but it's like a variation I made. And Dave Donis, I don't know if you guys know him. I'm sure you do.
So.
He does some of the shows.
Okay,
He's on them usually. Yeah, if you saw him, you definitely know him. He's playing guitar, and he like really helped me flesh out the songs full band. Alex, drummer from Moonlight Drowns, is playing, and Eli DeCanto, the monster,
the mighty bass
the
player.
monster,
Yeah.
I hit him up, and he was like, "Oh fuck yeah, dude, let's go."
He's a phenomenal dude.
Absolutely, and he can learn songs super quick. He was telling me about how he's got like photographic memory, basically, when it comes to music and playing bass. Like he learns songs super quick. Yeah. And so as soon as I needed a bass player and needed to put this show together, I was like, he's the first guy I thought of to play bass.
He's one of those cats. He'll never have a hard time finding work. You know what I mean? Because he's always with it, and he's always about it. You know what I mean? Man. So yeah, that's gonna be good. He does
so much. He like plays in 5 different bands. He does a ton of songs on the cover shows.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine. I've struggled doing like 3 songs at the cover shows and like having my shit together at those things, and he does like 10 of them.
Those shows are great because everyone gets to get together for the first time in a long time, and I've found that most times than not, people have new and exciting news to share with one another. But fuck, those shows are a marathon run, man. I mean, it's like you can get seated on the first couple of songs and have to wait till the final end, But it's always a good time, man.
And it's like, yeah, for sure. I get that 100%. Playing keys on the last one was perfect because he grouped them all together on keys.
It was a smart move, yeah.
And so I had my 3 songs right in the middle, and I was done, and I got hammered after.
Yeah, New Wave Night was cool, man. Big shouts to John, I mean, he always runs a great show and a tight ship, and I was mostly happy. I got to sing Talking in Your Sleep. And
it was
I looked around.
Great, dude.
You got Mike on guitar, Joey on the drum, and I looked at everyone. I was like, "Dude, this would be a sick freaking band."
I almost always think that after I play one of those.
Oh yeah,
because always such good musicians around you.
Oh, very true.
Surrounded by them.
Yeah.
Alex
Shout out to
knows
John
that.
Nicholson, man.
Yeah,
Like,
in a big
he's
way,
the man.
tremendous way.
Yeah, he does a lot for the scene here, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
And keeping us all together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
St. Patty's Day is coming up.
It's true. It's like in 2 days, I think.
Yeah. So, Alice, St. Patty's Day's already happened. But
Sorry.
I have learned some very interesting information about St. Patrick's Day.
I'd be curious to hear.
Yeah. So,
Please share.
Neef, you're probably gonna have to correct me with some Google searches if I slip up. But basically, the story, St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland, and that's what the remembrance of St. Patrick's Day is the day that he drove the snakes out of Ireland. But
Okay.
oddly enough, there were never any snakes in Ireland.
Oh.
well.
It is a metaphor for there was a tribe. They were called the Tiwa. Is that right? The Twa.
Yeah, something like that.
TWA. And they were very dark complexion, native to, or at least farther back than like European people coming.
They found that they think that that's the first peoples to actually migrate into the area that was Ireland and all of that.
Very
They were
interesting.
Still there when the Druids were there, teaching them. Saint Patrick
Druids.
actually was a crusader who went in and killed all the pagans, along with that tribe. Completely wiped them out, killed a bunch of Druids, a lot of the Celts. And that's what they were saying by driving the snakes out, is he was driving the non-believers out. It was a crusade.
Yeah. So basically, you convert to our subscription of Catholicism, I guess, and then
Okay.
and yeah.
Why do I always think of Spaceballs when I hear of druids? You know what I mean?
I don't.
Yeah.
Is there's
I
something
don't remember
there.
that part.
You seen Spaceballs?
I have. It's been a long time. I don't remember anything about druids though.
Talking about their Druids.
Funny, she doesn't look
Oh,
Druish, right? He says that. That's all I can think. John Candy in the fucking dog costume saying that.
What a wild time for comedy, too.
yeah,
what? Oh, man.
They're recovering from the '60s, I think.
For like cinema and shit, that is just the Wild West of an era, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I guess like everything really, music too.
I saw
but-
Spaceballs in a theater, the Full Moon Cineplex, not that long ago, like a couple of years ago. Have you ever been there?
Is that local or?
Yeah,
Man, well, I
it's
haven't.
in Hermitage.
I haven't been into a movie theater since.
Since COVID?
Yeah, since the shutdown. In
Oh, no
fact,
way.
I remember the last movie I went to, and it wasn't that great. And if you're a fan of this movie, well, whatever. Cool. It was The Birds of Prey. It was like the spin-off.
Look, that's my
of
favorite fucking movie
Well,
of
hey
all
man,
time.
I could sit and watch Margot Robbie
Fuck.
all day long. Don't
Yeah.
get it twisted. However, I was just thinking like, what are we doing here? I would not normally
Yeah.
see a movie. Like anyway, but yeah, and I got sushi before, and it was.
Oh yeah.
It was a good time, but it was also like, this is weird. Like, this feels like the last time in a long time. And sure as shit, I was alright. I haven't been to a movie theater since.
That's like a long time ago when that came out, right?
Hot minute, man. I want to say, yeah. That must have been, well, it had to have been before March 13th, 2020, because that's when everything shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I'm thinking
wild.
they might have remade it because there was a Birds of Prey from like the early 2000s. I'm pretty sure too.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, it was like Harley Quinn and all that.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Dude, I would let Harley Quinn or fucking Margot Robbie give me AIDS.
Bro.
I would.
Speaking of Margot Robbie,
like, I mean, like
there's a
bad.
cure for it
I mean,
now.
like bad
Oh.
'90s AIDS.
Yeah.
these AIDS.
Yeah,
That's super
dude.
shit.
Oh, yeah,
Fucking '90s.
the first
AIDS,
wave,
dude.
man.
Philadelphia AIDS.
Oh, at that time, I would have let her give me COVID, man.
Speaking
Oh,
of
for
Margot
sure.
Robbie,
Birds of that came out not that long ago. It was only a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that he's talking about.
yeah, there must have been an earlier one too then, because I remember seeing one like as a kid. Wait, it's like the same deal. Harley Quinn, obviously it wasn't Margot Robbie, but it's like
too bad.
Harley Quinn, Catwoman. Is that right? Who else is in that? It's like 3 of them, right?
I have no idea. I never
Yeah.
saw it.
I'm not gonna lie.
I was too busy jerking off.
Fair
I
enough.
couldn't concentrate on anything else.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Speaking of Margot Robbie, have you guys seen the Barbie trailers for the Barbie movie?
Yes. Yeah.
With
Duh.
her and Ryan
Of course.
Gosling?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, that seems about right. That they would be like the
Yeah,
plastic
Barbie and Ken.
perfect
Yeah, no,
looking.
they're perfect.
Dude, they're
Yeah.
perfect. They're perfect for it.
Absolutely.
No joke. This is the most excited about a movie I've been in
Wow.
like a long time.
That says a lot about you.
Yeah, I know.
That is the most excited you've been for a movie.
I'm
It's
so
Barbie.
fucking excited, dude.
I'm pretty excited too. I'm not gonna lie.
The trailer is like it. So they did 2001: A Space Odyssey, but instead of like chimps, it's a bunch of little girls, and they're like playing with dolls. And then like there's a narrator. I can't remember everything he said, but basically the idea was they're playing with baby dolls, and then all of a sudden like Margot Robbie's there, and like she's like
Oh, she's
100
like
feet tall.
yeah.
in
Oh,
a
that's
in a bathing
awesome.
suit, and they're all like, "Oh my god!" Like, and then it cuts to like just some like wacky adventures with her and Ken. It looks really fucking funny. I
I'm
think
not
it's
gonna
gonna.
lie, it does look really good. I'm just giving you a
Yeah.
hard time. It does. Have you seen seen the trailer for it?
I haven't seen the trailer, but I've seen some promo
Right.
photos from Anne, and yeah, she would definitely be the most perfect Barbie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's perfect as Ken too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
absolutely.
He's always been like.
Alex is like,
man.
can we talk more about Ken? Because have you seen Ryan
Yeah, shut the
Gosling?
fuck up about Margot Robbie.
Right.
We're talking about Ryan Gosling.
Talking about Ken, goddamn.
The Ken movie.
Right.
Yeah. Barbie just is in it.
Please tell me they show his.
His,
Not his.
Oh, his you know what.
His.
That would be funny.
We want to say that
His,
word in front of Alice.
I'm trying. Well, honestly, I'm trying to think of what is the word where there's not a dick
Oh,
and it's just
Yeah, actually.
a
what would it be?
nothingness. Because that's what Ken has. We all know.
Yeah.
We all tried to see Ken's dick.
What's going on down there?
We all did. Come on, and Barbie's stuff going on too. You know.
Yeah.
Mainly
disappointed to find out that there's no orifices anywhere on these dolls.
Right.
You'll love to see it.
Anyway.
I think that we would have a better sex education system if we made the dolls anatomically correct
Oh my
and
god.
allowed the kids to make them fuck.
It's like-
all of the dolls.
Every segment.
Every.
Every doll.
It's a requirement that if you have
You
it,
cannot make non-anatomically correct
like they
dolls.
all have to have
That sounds
some sort of sex organ.
that sounds terrifying. It's not even like a hyper realistic like Uncanny Valley type like human thing. It's like still a doll, but like super anatomically correct genitalia.
It sounds like a utopia.
Yeah. Oh my god, no. No. Well, actually,
One
all
of them already has.
I was gonna
one,
say all the
and
Teletubbies
they
have their
all have,
genitalia
like-
on their heads.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
How'd we get here?
They were ahead of their time.
Ahead.
Yeah, literally.
Ayo.
Yeah, I can't wait for the day when we all have tummies in our tellies in our tummies.
Yeah, that's the
the way of the
utopian future
future.
that we're heading towards. That and all the dolls have sex organs. Like that's what we need.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, right now there's a lot of them that have sex organs, and everybody have televisions on their hands.
Nice.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's working its way there. There'll just be more of the sex dolls, and then, you know, they'll eventually mount your phone in your stomach.
That's dope, man. That's what we need.
I mean, it makes sense. You know, I am on my phone. Like, it's bad. Like, there's times where I have to like put that thing away. You know, I'm just like always on my phone. You know, and it's. I think a lot of it's because like in this industry and the things that we've been doing and what have you, it's like there's so much hurry up and wait time that you're just like, what do I do? Like play on my phone, I guess, like whatever. And it's like just flipping through Instagram and this and that. And, you know, it can't be healthy.
Yeah.
You know,
No, and they talk about it. They're just gonna implant it in our brains, and then we won't even have to access the phone. You'll literally just be sucked into it all the time.
That's really gonna suck because then you're just gonna have ads pop up on your vision, like
Yeah, for
overlaid
sure.
on top of what you're doing.
You know, 100%. That's where we're headed. Or have you ever watched Black Mirror?
Yeah.
You know, like he's in that room and it like plays ads at him and it makes him
Oh
watch
yeah,
them.
yeah. If he looks away, it knows.
Yeah, it
Like, it's
knows.
tracking his eyes.
Our phones know if we're looking at them because the Face ID won't unlock unless you're looking at it. Like your eyes literally have to be looking at it.
So I have
So we're heading there, man.
a small like beef with that in particular. So like I never had a password on my phone, like ever. Like I just, it was a pain in the ass. Like to just like punch in a thing, and then it was like the Face ID or like the thumbprint, and I was like extra not with that. And then so I had a security software installed on my phone when I was working in my finance job that I still have not figured out how to get off. So I had to have a actual password, and then it also had to be 8 digits long, which is like, oh my God. So my biggest beef in the morning is when I'm waking up, and I always wake up to my phone blowing up, which is incredibly annoying. And like I just like peer over the pillow at my phone, and it won't unlock, and I gotta be like, Jesus fucking Christ, into this 8-digit
and you're half awake, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, ugh, and it's just like stupid, annoying, like so and so liked your picture, or like, hey, your car payment's coming out, like just a heads up, you're gonna be broke again. Like it's like, ugh.
Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I don't wake up in the morning at ease. Rarely, it's very rare that'll happen, which is a damn shame. You know, it's like, oh. We're just
Are you a deep sleeper or pretty light sleeper?
I am alarmingly difficult to wake up. Yeah.
Alarmingly difficult.
Like, yeah.
I feel like there's a
bad.
good pun
So,
there somewhere.
well, so
Alarming.
much so when the
You need a sleeper signal to get up.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
there it is.
he said the thing.
Dude. It's like you could use an air horn or just one killer riff, like, and I'll be like, yeah, it's riff time. Yeah, I think partially it might be because like I'm a deep dreamer as well. I have vivid dreams most nights, and sometimes they're difficult to pull out of. And I think that it's because I spend most of the days like stimulant driven, that when my brain finally gets a chance to like go to rest, it's like a deep rest. Yeah, like
Right,
locked
yeah.
in, just like yeah, so
Fucking cons out.
I mean, you throw a couple of alcoholic beverages on top of that, and it's like, good luck waking
Forget
my
about
ass
it.
up. That's it. He's out. He's
Right.
out.
Right.
So yeah.
What about you, Chris? How do you sleep?
Pretty much, pretty deeply, but I also am in like a rhythm where I can't help but like wake up early in the morning now because I'm so used to doing it, and it's been going for so long that. Also, my cat wakes me up, and always like meows like 30 minutes before I'm gonna wake up, and I always have to like shut the fuck up, and I feel like it just fuels her even more. Her food boner that she's got. Raging food boner. Yeah, that's what cats are manipulative.
Oh yeah,
Dude, I don't trust cats.
Wait, I have more on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if we talked about this before, but I found out something that made me very uncomfortable about cats. They have these parasites that are in their shit, and if people come in contact with it, not only does it make you love cats,
Whoa.
but it also makes you more of a risk taker, like in your day-to-day life.
Is this when Charlie Sheen had that tiger blood thing going on? Is that...
Probably.
Yeah, he spent a lot of
Probably
time with a tiger, bro.
He had tiger shit, like
Tiger
contact.
shit, yes.
So like he was like extremely like risk taker. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, so like cats being manipulative, like it's like genetically manipulative, and so the same thing with mice. The way it affects mice is it switches their their fear and their like sexual desire. Whoa. So like instead of being afraid of cats, they will run right up to cats and just get massacred.
Wow. You know something?
That sounds like you ever meet a girl.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I'm gonna try my hardest. I know you're gonna fuck my life up, but here I come. I'm gonna try my best to get right up in your good graces and just for you to freaking.
Yeah, fair enough.
You do a little cat scratch fever, man.
Cat scratch fever.
Something I found out recently. Did you know that mice die after sex?
Oh,
The one that I fucked did. Yeah.
You've told so many variations of that joke on this show. Like like mice, cats.
Lots of animals die after you fuck them to death.
You know,
like that I found.
9 out of 10 scientists agree.
9 out of 10 times you fuck an animal.
You know what's weird about a mouse or like mice in general? Like, so I remember I was living in my mom's, like, we had like a little finished basement. And that's where I spent most of my college years. Because I didn't want a dorm when I went to college. I was like, dude, no, like, fuck that. And like, I'm glad I lived close enough to my university. I could drive there, go there, do my time there, and come back home. I didn't want to deal with other people. Didn't want to be on campus. You know, listen. It was bad enough I had to listen to like my mom's house rules than like go to a dorm where they're like, hey, if you do this, you're gonna get like, you know, written up on some. Yeah, I just like miss me with that. Like, anyway,
for sure.
A little mouse had gotten in. I was playing my guitar. I saw this little black figure run across the floor, right under my feet, and dude, I jumped so. Like, almost through the goddamn ceiling, like, on top of my little drum throne that I was sitting on, dropped my guitar and everything, and I was like, oh my god, a mouse! Like, this thing was, like, smaller than my hand. And me, like, I was scared shitless, dude. I was like, whoa, what do we do? What do we do? Like, freaking out, dude. And, like, they're just little critters. They're not gonna hurt you.
It's true.
Scared the shit out of me, man.
But well, also if you see one, you know there's more.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
that's usually a problem.
Yeah, well, we got that little motherfucker.
I don't think they can really hurt you, but I think that if you fucked with them, they'd bite you, and I don't want that to happen.
That probably wouldn't be good for you. I'm not saying it would be bad, but it can't be good.
Can't be good.
Can't be good.
Not
Right,
possible.
No good can become from getting bit by most animals.
Yeah, the plague.
Wow, the plague, bro.
Speaking of feral rodents, I'm reading Watership Down right now. Have you guys heard of this?
No, I haven't.
So it's there's a Netflix series as well. I haven't seen all of that, but basically the book is about this like vagabond group of rabbits. But man, like I thought this was gonna be like a kid's book. These rabbits go so fucking hard, dude.
Damn.
Like, it's insane. It's an insane book. We're doing a book club on it this month, so I won't get into it too deep. But yeah, it's basically like the closest thing I could compare it to would be like Walking Dead or like Last of Us, where it's
cool.
Yeah, because it's like
it's not driven by a fungus, is it?
No, it's like basically, like, this group of rabbits breaks off from a bigger group of rabbits to migrate somewhere else. And they're traversing, like, what to us would be, like, not that great of a distance. But, like, to them is, like, this huge undertaking, like, this excursion. Like, they're basically, like, they have, like, there's one of them that's, like, kind of like a prophet. And they have, like, a holy land, basically. And they're traveling there. And, like, coming across, like, hawks and cats and, like, ferrets and stuff. It's hard, bro. And then the worst, like Walking Dead, the worst part isn't like the predators, like the zombies. It's other people. So like they come across other tribes of rabbits, and that's like that can go sideways really fucking quick. It's hard as hell. I'm like, damn, like
damn, these
this
rabbits.
Is not a kid's book. Holy shit.
Yeah. Rabbits always. I got weird problems with them too, man. They're like creepy little creatures, man.
They're
like,
vicious.
You think about like the weird, like the magician has the rabbit in the hat. Like it's just like it's strange to me.
That's true.
Isn't this the year of the rabbit?
Yes, it is.
Ooh,
Yeah.
What's that?
nice.
It's the year of the rabbit.
Oh, it is. Okay, all right.
It's also March, and I'm a March.
March hare. Yeah.
That's true. You've been on this podcast before, haven't you?
I have. Yes.
Yeah, Cordy, Shrieking Violet was on that one as well, wasn't she?
That was awesome. Yeah, and she's such a special, awesome person that I'm so happy to have met.
Dude, have you, sorry to interrupt, have you seen Hussy Fit?
That's her musical act,
Yeah, that's
right?
that's her new band. That
I
she put
haven't seen
together
it
with...
live, but I've been seeing some videos on Instagram, and I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah. It's so cool to see her thing, like full band. It's like, oh, okay, this is really, because it's cool. It was cool before, But now with the full band, it's like this is the next level. This is
like more fleshed out.
yeah, this is fucking rad.
And that's what's cool about what you're doing coming up is like I've heard you play a lot of those songs before.
You have
Just you.
and not
and now
many
you
people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're one of the few because I've only done like a set like that once. That
Oh,
was
really?
just songs that I wrote. Yeah, and it was at Springwater, that one
So-
that you saw.
So you doing those songs with a full accompaniment. There's one particular song I'm really excited about. It's for you
The
to
Jester
do. Yeah.
and the Mystery is what it's called.
I like it
Okay.
already.
Yeah, it had another name actually before. It was called Jester and the Gypsy,
Okay.
but I had since found out that gypsy is offensive to some people.
Yeah.
Especially
yeah.
when you use it in the context that I was using it in.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I didn't know. I was educated, and now the words have been changed to Jester and the Mystery.
It's not bad. That's a
Not
good
it.
way. It's hard these days. Like the idea of like what a gypsy, like I don't know. I always thought of like the gypsy as like like this like mythical character, but it was like a group of people. Like like gypsy jazz is a real thing, like Django Reinhardt and all that stuff, and then like like you've seen Peaky Blinders, right? Like they're technically like gypsies on the show. Like everyone's like fearful of them, and so it I guess is or at least was like a race or group or religion. I don't know enough about it, but I have been hearing that like it can have a negative if you use it the wrong way. Like people could take offense to it, and like
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
kind of interesting,
Gypsy
too.
derived from the term originally was used to, I could be mistaken about this, or I could be getting part of this mixed up.
And probably are.
They were migrants from Egypt going into Europe somewhere, and the people there knew they were from Egypt, and they
Okay.
called them because of they're from Egypt. That's where the gypsy name came
Oh,
from.
okay, yeah.
And
Okay.
that word,
Yeah.
much like the term slave came from the Slavs, but then it just got used for everybody that was a slave. The term gypsy came from them calling them that, but then it kind of turned into
Vagrants,
a lot
nomads.
of people from Romania.
Interesting.
When and when you say a lot of people for many years, when you would say the term gypsy, they would immediately just think of somebody from Romania or a Romy, which is part of where some of the negative connotation came from, where they're like, that doesn't, there's a lot of like, well, you're using the name of some people that was kind of derogatory to them to begin with, and now you're moving it over here, moving it. But
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
by now it's just a term that means people who were, like nomadic people in somewhat modern day area.
The context I was thinking of it in and using it in was like, you ever seen Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Yeah,
or whatever
man.
it's called. The girl, she's a gypsy.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the gypsy. That's like my idea in my mind. I just thought that was a
I'll be
thing.
honest. The context in which you're using it, I think it's totally fine. But who am I?
Well, didn't Stevie Nicks? You see your gypsy.
Yeah.
Name of the song,
yeah.
Stevie
Jimi
Nicks.
Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix and the Band of Gypsies.
Band of Gypsies.
My favorite live album of all time, hands down, period. Jimi Hendrix and the Band of Gypsy. It is incredible. If you've not heard it, I don't know what the fuck rock you're living under,
a
but
live recording
For sure.
of 2 different nights on New Year's Eve.
Incredible.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, 2 different nights. Yep.
Yeah,
Damn.
Phenomenal.
That wasn't cancel culture at that time, though.
what a phenomenal
Yeah.
Machine
Unfortunately.
Gun.
Mhm.
They don't know.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Power of
yeah.
Soul. Power to Love.
Power to
Message
Love. Yep. Oh man, they were on fire too.
Yeah.
Fire!
Yeah. Jimmy's hands down one of the greatest of all time.
That's my favorite guitar player of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about Raise the Black Flag. So
Yeah.
you guys are rock and roll. Like you are rock and roll. The person.
Yes. You are rock and
I wake
roll.
up every day and humbly try and be as rock and roll as humanly possible,
That's fucking rad.
with respect to those around me.
Successfully so.
Respectful rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, well, dude, I grew up a little punk dipshit, dude. It's what's really funny about that? I was talking to somebody recently. I go to weekly talk therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. I think everyone should, especially young men in their mid to late 20s. And I was talking to my therapist, and I was like, I feel bad. I slipped up. I really lost my temper this, in this situation this week. I said, but it's hard, man. I never grew out of being a fucking punk. And he goes, no, you're in the process of growing out of being a punk. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And he was like, you're very gentle. You just lose your patience easily. And I said, yes. But nowadays, when I do lose my patience, I try to do it in a way of like, hey, I'm feeling a little bit this way because of something that might have happened between us. And I'm on edge right now. So we can either talk about this or not, but like I'm feeling this way, So I guess, yeah, rock and roll is... I've had to learn how to be rock and roll and also an adult at the same time.
That makes sense.
But yes, we are rock and roll when I take the stage, and I get to be that untouchable rock and roll presence on stage. That's where I get to get that outlet out. And yeah, so to answer that, we are rock and roll as fuck, or at least we try to be, to the best of our ability.
I feel like this new song really, like that kind of, it's almost like an anthem,
I think so too, and I appreciate you recognizing that. I'm glad you were there to see us play it.
Yeah, it was such a great show.
So, to give you a little background on the song, so Leo, the bass player, but also my best friend, my co-writer, my producer, love of my life. I love Leo so much. He truly is my best friend. He actually wrote a majority of that song, and he came to me with this idea, and he said, dude, this is very different. I need you to embrace this in the way that we can't write the same song every time. And I said, okay. And we did. And I said, where are these lyrics coming from? He was like, well, dude, I have been obsessed with pirates lately, and I've been doing a lot of research on pirates and watching these pirate documentaries. He goes, these lyrics are actual quotes from actual pirates recorded back to the pirate age. So Blackbeard and all those guys. And I was like, this is incredible. He goes, I know. I was like, no, because if you didn't know that, the lyrics read like the story of a man taking control of his life again and not being afraid of the open waters of that destiny and that journey and that trip. And it hit to me because I felt in my life that I was taking the reins of my life back again. I was reestablishing myself as an individual and creating new stuff with the band and learning new things about myself. So, and then also reflecting a lot of my past, the lyric where he said, but I am repeating and sing-song now, the devil knows of my ways, I'm just counting my days. It's almost like a reflection of like, I've been through some shit and, one of these days, if I don't correct my course, those days are going to catch up to me, or the devil's going to get me. So like, that was really cool to me. Also, the approach of which I decided to sing it was interesting too. It's very in a low register for me. And I just was channeling that Zeppelin 4 vibe when Robert Plant, like, think of a song like 10 Years Gone, right? Where he's like singing kind of low and not that like, hey mama, he's just kind of like easing into it. Yeah. It almost sounds like a pirate at sea, just like drinking a brandy and recounting his days of when he was the evil motherfucker, that people know him as now. So
let me hand it to you on the tearjerker reference of 10 Years Gone.
Yeah.
Deep cut of Zeppelin track.
I'm saying, and yeah, thank you. It's actually funny, right before we started writing this song, we were toying around with some covers of just songs that would be fun, and Leo loved that bass riff, that doom, doom, doo, doo, doom. Then again, as it was, then again it will be. And when you listen to the song, you'll hear almost a nod to it, the way that he played rhythmically on his bass. It almost is like a nod to that. The solo section rips, again, Leo wrote that also. He understands guitar harmony in a way that I am still learning, and I'm so happy to be able to learn from. And he wrote this harmonized part between me and Eric, and he taught us how to play it. And I was like, this is crazy. He goes, yeah, but it's gonna be good. He's got a bit of an accent. And sure as shit, he was right.
Yeah,
he was. So, and we had a lot of fun with it. And to stretch the boundary of what we normally would have written without a care of, like, what are people gonna think? Because you have to take risks.
Sure, yeah.
I could sit here and write you the same 5 fucking songs. What is cool about that? What is fun about that? So... Especially nowadays where it's so difficult to get content out. It's like single this, single that, maybe an EP. we're currently working on a full-length album, which I'm really jazzed about.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and that whole process has been incredible. But up to this moment, we were like, this is going to be our first step in an experimental direction. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited for the video. I'm excited to see how... Well, I know how it came out. I'm excited for other people to kind of see it. And we have a sense of humor, I think, as a band. And it shows, I think, when we're on stage or when we're in a music video, we do certain things that, like, only we or those who know us would understand, like, oh, that's funny that they decided to do that way. Like, I know what the fuck was going on there. So we like to keep a little secret.
Yeah. You guys, like, clearly synergize well together. Like, so that actually makes a lot of sense that, like, there was a lot of collaboration in the writing of that song. Because, like, you guys mesh very well. And you can also tell you guys are having fun with it.
Thank you. And it is true.
It's kind of like, I don't mean to cut you off, but like if you're going to see a live act and they're like stiff and it's like they're not having fun, it's like how can you expect anyone else to have fun? You know what I mean? And you guys have a great stage presence for sure.
First of all, thank you. That is a tremendous compliment because there have been days where I am having anxiety or I'm just having the longest day or like it really doesn't matter. Like the minute that we hit and I look over to my guys, I call it like breaking character. Like cause I try to have this like big tough guy persona, but I just can't help it. I am laughing. I'm smiling. I'm having the greatest time of my life because that is the only time in my life where I feel alive, really, which sounds kind of messed up, but it's true. Like I love the feeling that I'm conveying to folks. I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel appreciated, and I feel in the company of my favorite musicians that I've ever played with. And like that just brings the biggest smile to my face. And what cracks me up the most is when we're like singing a song that's like very deeply about something that hurt me so much, and I'm just like smiles for miles. like you thought you could get me? Like fucking haha, joke's on you, fucko. I'm having a blast. Here we go. Like yeah, and I think it brings a lot out of my playing also, I think of like bands like Rush. I'm a huge Rush fan. They played fun. You could see it in the videos. Like Alex is ripping this monster solo, but he's grinning and laughing at Geddy, and Neil's back there making goofy things while he's like, and it's like, I just seeing that chemistry, it's almost like you're performing before all these people, but you're also performing for one another on stage. And I'm very, very blessed to have that with this group, and I hope I never see the end of those days.
Do you like Tom Waits?
Tom Waits fantastic.
Dude.
I was more of a Frank Zappa guy, though.
Okay.
And Captain Beefheart and all that. But Tom Waits, yeah.
I was thinking about that song, Hoist That Rag.
Okay. Hoist That Rag.
Yeah. Like the songs sonically are not at all the same, but like, just Raise the Black Flag, Hoist That Rag. Those are both great fucking pirate chanties, bro.
It's true, man. Get yo ho, yo ho. Drink up, me hearties. And often I think it's funny too, as rock and roll musicians especially, we're already playing this like outlaw style music that's like such a crapshoot to even try and think about getting famous with, but like to have that fearless, like we're going after it with all we got approach is almost like, I want this song to be the ode to the, the modern day rock and roller,
Yeah. A rock and roll anthem for sure.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, again, if you missed it the first time, that's April 15th, and the music video's out for that as well.
Thank you.
On that day. Yeah. I think, so like, when I call it an anthem, it's like, that's what I meant when you said, it's like for the rock and roller of the age. It's like, this song is for, I'm trying to explain what an anthem is, but you guys already know what I'm talking about. Could you Google the definition of anthem? Pull that shit up, Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Have you guys been watching anything good or reading anything? Any media taken in?
I watched Ginny and Georgia recently. Have you ever watched that or heard of it?
No, what is that?
Well, so my daughter, I watch a lot of stuff with her. She presented this to me one day. She's like, Jenny and Georgia, we can watch that as we're looking for something to watch. She was like, it's kind of like Gilmore Girls, high school drama. I was like, oh, great. Yeah, that's sounds awesome. I can't wait to see that, honey. You know, put it on, we'll watch it. It's actually really fucking good. She's not wrong, but it is kind of like Gilmore Girls in the fact that the mom and daughter are close in age. She was young when she had her. I was kind of young when I had Annabelle, so she kind of identifies with these Gilmore Girls and kind of things, situations, and likes those sort of things. Though not that young. I was 21 when she was born.
The definition of anthem: a rousing or uplifting song identified with a particular group, body, or cause.
Well, what's more arousing than raising a black flag?
Yeah,
I mean,
right. I think we kind of hit.
When I was trying to explain what an anthem is, can you just take what you said and like overdub it with, make it look like I said that?
Yeah,
cool.
Got you.
There you go. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it is an anthem. Have you taken in any good media lately? Video games, music?
You know, it's cool because so I just moved into an apartment with my beautiful girlfriend, whom I love so dearly, and it was a journey to get there. I think we really waited the proper amount of time.
Good.
And we found a beautiful spot, and I feel at ease again. I have my own living room, and so the reason why I bring that up is because lately I've been finishing Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I was waiting for you to say Black Flag.
Oh, yeah, no, right. But so I've been playing this like journey game, and I'm like, yeah. Because like I never had, like I rarely have time to sit down and like play a fucking video game, but I really loved this game when I got it, and like now I'm so close to beating it. So like that's been kind of cool. Like, you know, again, this destiny, this journey on discovering new stuff. But I guess listening to music that like is like more like new, like, so for instance, I have been obsessed with the new Taylor Swift album.
Oh, I haven't heard any of it, but I've actually heard that it's really fucking
fantastic,
good.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, when I heard the song Anti-Hero, I personally resonated with it a lot. I know obviously she didn't write that song for me. However, I felt a huge connection to that song in particular, and just like a lot of the lyrics in that. And then there's this other song called Bejeweled that's on it, and I'm just like obsessed with it. So just like that's been cool. The new Turnstile album, Glow On, is fucking fantastic because I love hardcore music too, you know, and you know I'm big on the hip hop, you know. So I mean, I've been like trying to mix it up, you know, some older stuff that's comfortable and familiar, but like with some new stuff. But truth be told, like I've been a little burnt out with like new music and stuff like that. So I've been listening a lot to the Bill Burr podcast. I love stand-up comedy.
Love Bill Burr.
It puts me at ease. Just trying to read here and there, but mostly just kind of taking in. I've been journaling a lot. That's been my thing lately. That's been my way of getting
a healthy thing to do.
Yeah, very healthy, and it's I feel it's easier than songwriting. Because I can be more personal, knowing that no one ever has to hear it. You know, reveal the secrets of myself to myself.
And that might be a useful tool for writing songs at some point too.
Yeah, it helps it get it gets the words out of you. It gets you out of a funk. You know.
Yeah, I've found that the hardest part of writing for me is like actually just sitting, like doing it. You know, like like sitting down
actively.
At it. Yeah, and then once you start, it's like it just goes.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of things too. And
14 pages in, you're like your hands cramping up, you know.
That's a good point. Yeah, like pretty much everything's like that, I guess.
A lot of things. Yeah. It's like the hardest part is to get started, but then once you do, it really rolls. I feel like almost every song I've written is like a couple lines come to me, and then I write the whole thing. Or something like that. A lot of times it happens that way. Big
time. It's that, and I agree to that. The hardest part is getting that first statement out. You know, like because when you sit down and write a song, your first thought is like, "What the fuck am I trying to say here?
Yeah.
What am I telling? Like, what is this about? Like, there's all these question marks floating around until something's like, I guess I just feel this type of way. You know.
Yeah, Steven really taught me a tool that was really helpful for my songwriting, especially writing to music. is thinking about how the music makes you feel and just writing that down, and then writing based off of that.
That's
like,
cool.
How does it make you feel? What is it like? What does it inspire? We wrote a song called "Doesn't Seem So Bad" that you might be familiar with. We usually close with it, and it was a guitar part I'd written a long time ago. He's like, "How does it make you feel?" And I was like, "It makes me feel like it's something sad, but I'm kind of happy about it." And it ended up, we wrote it together. It was definitely a total co-write. And to me, it's funny because songs can mean different things to each person, even the same song, you know? And that's definitely the case for this. Because to me, it's about dying and being like not so sad about it anymore. Like the idea of it, not like making me sad. And being kind of sad that it doesn't make me sad anymore, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Yeah.
There's
There's
it's almost sad
a nostalgia for your pain.
Yeah.
It's like I'm numb to this now, but it's like I kind of, like that burned me. Like I felt that.
And so like, and that all triggered from thinking of the whole idea of it being something happy and sad basically at the same time.
That's really cool.
And it like led to ultimately that. Is there any songs that, because I know you do co-writes too, that it like ended up meaning something different to both of you? Any experience like that? Because that one with Stevens, the way he sees it, I forget exactly his take on it, but he sees it in a different way. It's just interesting because we wrote the song together and it means different things to both of us.
Yeah, I so like doing this even, like the hardest part of this is like, oh hey Alice, and what do I say now? But then like, you know, once we've been talking, I don't even know how long we've been talking, but like once you get started, it just goes.
Yeah.
Where do you think art comes from? Because like, let me preface this with like, I've noticed that like my voice and my poetry, like the way I speak is not how I speak. It's not the same as my voice. Like I talk in a different way, to a point where I'm like, I don't know what that is. It gets weird because like I've written things years ago that I go back and read again, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize I did that. Like I put things in here that I didn't even understand at the time.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that is. Because the voice that we write in is oftentimes different. Like, I feel like my writing voice, like whether it was essays that I wrote in college or even songs, I feel like my tone of voice when I'm writing is almost like condescending, which sounds weird. It almost sounds like I'm telling you something in a way that like I'm a little bit upset about. Like I also write a lot about concepts or things that lack a sense of closure. My favorite things to write about song-wise or poetically is like I'm often wondering like what could have been, or why did that end up that way, or anything that has left me pondering like a different outcome than the outcome that had been had. So it's almost like when I write something like that, I feel like I'm talking to that person, asking them or searching for this sense of closure that I never got. You know? So
yeah, I can relate to that. Like a lot of like a lot of the stuff I write is like me still working things out, like and a lack of closure. That hits close to home for sure.
Of course, you know, writing is therapy, getting words out. Again, this comes back to the journaling thing almost. You know, it's like you just, when you're making a song, you try to do it in a way that's relatable to other folks.
Yeah.
Or those who are listening, or whatever. What have you? What have you?
What have you?
A lot of my stuff is like it's like I'm writing it to a person. Like it almost has like a very personal kind of like, and I have to like a letter, and it's like I almost have to like pull back and make it like not so targeted, like vaguify it. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah. Did I cut you off? Were you gonna say something?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Nice mustache.
I'm soup.
Yeah, let's talk about the mustache.
Let's talk about the
man,
mustache.
because you debuted the mustache, at least as far as I know, at the New Wave night, and I was like, look at this hunk of beef.
It's growing in nicely.
Sexy man.
Looks good.
And it gets
strong,
it
man.
gets dirtier every day.
I love it.
The thoughts, I mean.
Oh, yes.
Right, yeah. Actually, I started it kind of for the Butt Rock show.
Okay.
It was one of the reasons I did it. I was like, how can I really, like, douche myself up? I know I can grow, I know I can do a porn stash.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll do it. Fuck it. Why not?
I would do it if I could.
We just
And
got to
so-
get you a police officer's outfit to go with,
dude,
bro.
for real.
Game
The next show.
over.
You're under arrest.
Did someone call 911 fun?
Oh my god. Yes.
Love
I'm
it.
stealing that.
You
I'm
please,
stealing
please,
that.
absolutely.
9-1 fun.
Dude, hell yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm saying it at the fucking show next week. Sorry.
And I'll be there screaming.
Bro,
Yeah.
yes. I'll be pointing at you. And I'll give you some credit. I'll give you some.
He's like, please don't.
Well, I mean, dude, you know what's crazy? You look like my dad a little bit. So my dad's always rocked a
nice.
mustache, right? I can't really grow facial hair. Like, I've tried to do the beard thing, very patchy, whatever, but I have to shave every day because come the end of the day, I do have the stubble and it drives me absolutely fucking nuts. So I shave every day, keep the clean cut look. You know, I like to spin it like, well, I look like I could play in the New York Yankees, maybe whatever. Like, you know, I like the baby face look.
You know.
And I used to get upset, like, oh, you look like a baby. But now I'm getting older, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I am the baby. Yes, you can card me for cigarettes. I'm not gonna get upset. Like, please, let's stay young. I use a face lotion now. I'm trying to pull out all the stops to stay young looking. So
I feel you. I can't really. Mine's patchy up here, so I can't. I was never able to grow a beard, and I just never did the mustache. But mustaches are in, bro.
Yeah.
oh
Hey,
yeah.
I think, like, I would do that if I could grow a proper mustache. This is just me being lazy and not shaving, but, like, I can't grow a, like, porn stash.
Right. Well, it started out as just the Butt Rock show, but it's gotten such good reception, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah, if you ever shave, just be like, I'm disappointed.
You never talk to me again.
Don't. Yeah.
That was the last time. I remembered what I was going to say, that you cut me off. I'm just kidding.
Go on.
I actually prefer you cut me off, because then I don't have to make an idiot of myself like I do most of the time when I get to say.
Well, now that you've reminded us, what idiot thing were you, what really fucking stupid thing were you
It
about to say?
wasn't stupid this time. Fuck. Okay? Not this
I'll be
time.
the judge of that.
I was going to say, I'm sure you guys, because it's funny, this is, I guess, gets to be a different format, because you've already been on the podcast, and so have I, and everything. But you've not asked him any of the usual questions.
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious.
I just noticed that too.
Because I wasn't on the last one.
We went over a lot of.
Oh, we talked about
Yeah.
quite a bit, and
Right.
and it was fun too because, like, you know, I always. It's like the type of shit that we talked about, like when we were getting high in high school for the first time. You know, like,
Fuck yeah,
dude,
man.
you think what do you think happens, like, you know, in the afterlife? Like, you think this is your first time around, man? And stuff like that.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, dude.
Man, that's the shit I think about. Like, actually, I guess I'm in a better place than I was like a few years ago when I started this. But that's
Good.
like,
Congrats.
thank you. Yeah. But like, I think about that shit a lot. I guess I'm realizing just now that not as much as I used to. But yeah, it's still like the big questions are what a lot of my focus is on, to the point where, like, I can't really, I don't see what's in front of me, because, like, my head's in the clouds, and
I can relate.
yeah, and this is a way I've found to do, like, to turn that into something, like, productive, you know, because, like, this is what me and my friends do, is talk about stoner shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a lot of fun doing that as well. But yeah, we went over a lot of that last time he was on.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff too, and that's one of the reasons I love to be on this and talk to Alex and why we get along so well. And I'll just randomly call him a lot of times and be like, "All right, bro, listen."
Yeah, yeah. Kris has had some enlightening experiences recently.
Well, you know, and it's important too that, like, because there's an aspect of, like, daydreaming to it. You know, I find a lot of times that I get caught up in these, like, fear-based thoughts of, like, running out of time, or, like, am I doing something that's meaningful in this moment, or, like, where do I stand with myself and in the timeline of my life? And there's a lot of these like heavy things that I ponder on the day-to-day basis instead of just like focusing on, you know, something that's less, I guess, about like me and maybe more about the universe and those around me, you know. Like it's hard to I feel like a lot of times I get very like self-centered in my thoughts, but like scathingly, like I'm not doing enough, or like I should be doing this and yada yada yada, instead of wondering like maybe I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Why is it that our biggest enemy is our fucking selves?
Right.
That fucking voice in your head
yeah.
that argues with you and tries to tell you not to do productive things.
Right.
And
Yep.
God damn it, it's a monster.
Especially in this time, like you brought up phones earlier. Like there's so many things to pull you away from being productive. Like pretty much everything that you come across.
And that's what your brain wants you to do. It feels like it tells you to do it all the time. It literally is like the two wolves or something, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't really think people are like that on their own. I think it's this system we live in.
I think that it fuels it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I if I stay like too plugged into the news, I get very radical in my thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with my life is good. I'm having a great time, but I'm very discontent with how the world's going.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is too, I think at least, is that it's an erratic source of information. They're creating a sense of urgency that isn't necessarily there because they're reaching for ratings and popularity and sales and stuff like that. Exactly.
Dopamine.
So 9 times out of 10, like really only a quarter of what you're reading is actually fact-based. Like dude, I was flipping through the paper the other day and like there's like this whole segment like that are opinion pieces. Who gives a fuck? Like this is not even fact. Like this is some guy's opinion. It's like this like 5-page essay that's like written in this like freaking I'll tell you what's really wrong, and it's like there's no peer-reviewed evidence. There's no factual information. If I submitted a paper like that when I was in college, I would have received an F. Like, and people eat that shit up because it caters to their point of view.
I feel like, unfortunately, that is the majority of what mainstream journalism is. And I think, if I'm correct, that by definition is not journalism. Journalism is removing your opinion from that.
Right.
But most of the journalism we're subjected to is what you're talking about. Where it's like, this is not backed by fucking anything. This is
editorial.
Editorial, yes. Editorial. You know, there was also a time where journalists had an obligation to not only protect their craft, but to protect politicians as well. Like when, like, you know, back in like World War II, when our president was ill and in a wheelchair, like my older sister told me, because my older sister is a journalist, and she was like, oh my god, like, yeah, like they would protect, like, oftentimes they would even like gang up in front, like almost stand in front to like not reveal a not fully capable physical being.
Yeah.
To like, and now it's like it's.
Was that Eisenhower?
I in part of my ignorance, I'm drawing a blank and I'm mixing it up, but I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
that's right.
like, but nowadays it's like attack. So it's like there's really no one that has other folks' backs out there, especially in the press. It's just like scathing. Like, I don't know. And it sucks too, because it's like, what if someone actually like was a good person and had a good point of view, and it's like, well, they're wrong because this and that. It's like it's just like this constant butting of heads. That's like like just yeah,
because it's engaging.
The way
and that's like one of the reasons that it's become like, and they've talked about like they're like, yeah, we've focused our algorithms to focus on engagement, and anger is one of the most engaging fucking things out there.
People really like to be outraged about things. They like
to be, and that counterintuitive. Like, why would you want to be mad about something? It sounds counterintuitive.
I think it comes with like we all want to be heroes.
Is it fear?
Right? It's like we all want to.
I just said that because his hat
Fear.
says fear. It's the first time I noticed it.
Yeah.
Fear or love?
We all like. We all view ourselves as the protagonist of our story, and your outrage can make you feel even if you're not doing anything, it's like I'm upset. Makes you feel like you're contributing, I guess. I don't know.
Something.
Yeah.
If you're out there correcting the masses.
Yeah, and I like to be clear about, like, I'm subject to that too. Like, I'm not above that.
No, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like-
110%. Yeah. No, yeah, facts.
Like, you gotta put that out there, right?
Yeah.
now. Disclaimer.
You know, it's weird. When you think about it, you know, and like, anger is like almost the easiest emotion to feel. It's the knee jerk so many times, at least for me in my past. Like, it's almost like, and it's usually like your quintessential, like, if only I just taken a second to breathe, the outcome would have been better. So then why did you knee jerk get so angry in the first place? It's harder to take a step back. It's almost like, and which is puzzling, like why aggression is such a, I don't know if it's like a humanistic thing where it's like you feel like your back is against the wall, so your knee-jerk reaction is to be like, like fuck you, like, you know, like,
right,
you know, instead of being like, okay, like that person is making me feel a type of way. I'm gonna take a second, assess the situation, as they say, you know.
Yeah, be patient.
Yeah,
patience is a muscle.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
For sure.
I think like the aggression, the standoffishness is a very, like, that's very like nature, you know what I mean? Like instinct.
Like the animal side of your brain.
Yeah. And I think like to touch on something you were saying earlier, like you were talking about like you were a punk when you were a kid, and it's like
and you're still a punk. You'll always be a punk.
But you're finding a way to like bring balance and like think twice before you act. And yes. I can relate to that a lot as well. As like I was a lot more hot-headed like as a kid, and it's like that might be, you know, the animal part of us, and it's like as we grow into being adults, it's like the part of us that's separate from animals, which really, who even knows how separate that is? But like, well, we're growing up. We're
is that the ego? Is that what you would call it? Is that
which
what,
part?
Do you think that's what we're referring to?
As the animal part or the non-animal?
The
part?
non-animal part. The id being the animal part.
I got, maybe you know more about it than I do. I'm not sure. The ego. When I think of ego, I think of like self, like the way you identify yourself.
Yeah.
I guess
it's the same
thing. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily argue with that. I think that's true. I'd have to think about that more though.
Yeah, I definitely I definitely see it in children. I see it in everybody.
So would you say that children
included.
like lack the ego because they're very anger driven?
I think that like when you're a baby, you're only id. You're the animal, basically. And then when you start to develop as like a kid, you get some ego, and the older you get, the more ego you get, which can be good, but it can be bad too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
in ways, you know, because there's, you know, when we talk about ego, you can use that term to refer to like your pride, a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
But I mean more of it as like the sense of self than the pride aspect.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But it can become pride.
I just didn't think of it like that before.
Ego and pride are definitely related, right?
Oh, sure. You can't.
We would think.
I think you can't. You wouldn't be able to have pride without the ego.
Yeah, there's
probably.
definitely a relationship there between pride and ego. And a lot of people use ego and pride almost interchangeably, the way they...
Like, you have a lot of ego. It's like, what does that even mean? What you really mean is pride.
What you really mean is pride, right.
Yeah.
And your sense of self, which is ego. Okay. Yeah.
Just a quick aside. So I live in East Nashville, right? And I hang out quite a bit in the 5 Points area. And there's a building. And on the side of the building, there's like, it's like a little mural. And it says, "Lose the ego." And the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, go fuck yourself." And I was like, "Oh, all right." There, I just fell for it. Like, you know what?
That's funny.
Fuck you.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Lose the ego.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Fuck you. Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm yelling at the side of my
I got your fucking ego right here.
Yeah. Dipshit. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
I want to see I hope it's still there.
No, it is totally. Yeah,
Yeah?
dude. It's like
It's at 5 points. You said.
Yeah,
around
dude.
there?
It's if you stand on the rooftop of like the Rosemary Bar, you could see it's one of the buildings over there. I think it actually might be. It's right over the Marathon. It might be the Van Dyke Hotel. I'm not sure. And it's needless to say, it's a beautiful little statement. Like, I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying the way that I felt. I felt like someone was telling me what to do. Big bad William,
right,
you know what I'm saying? And there it is, dude. So
I like that. I saw a band called Wiley, which shout
I've
out
heard
to Wiley
of them for sure.
But they were playing like really happy folk music when I walked in, and at first I kind of had the same knee-jerk reaction as they're doing. I'm like, this is campy. They're doing a song about like you wouldn't hurt your I can't remember the lyrics. Please don't be mad at me. I'm gonna fuck this up. It was like you can't. You wouldn't hurt your neighbor, so why you beating on yourself or something like that?
Oh, and I love that.
It's great, right? But like, I'd had a long day at work. He's playing a banjo, and the dude next to him,
You're like, fuck him.
I'm like, fuck
his banjo.
Dude.
His happy music.
You know what though? To add to that, and you're not wrong too, because I have felt that. I have this thing where like I see shit like that or like anything like that. And I look to whoever's with them, like, that's so East Nashville. Like, it's like my, you know what I mean? And it's not that I don't love it. I'm just like, here we fucking go. Like, like that.
I know exactly what you mean. But again, that's us being assholes. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, yeah.
And on a good day, I'd be like, that's what makes this community so fucking cool and awesome and pure, and we have a place that people can express this. That's fucking awesome. But you catch someone the wrong way, man. I don't know, man.
Right, man.
Yeah, we get like we really do have such a great community here. And actually, I watched the rest of Wiley's set and I thought they were fucking great. They're super fucking talented, and I like that song a lot. In retrospect,
have to keep my eye out. I want to go see that now.
Yeah. I saw them at East Room, at Young Robot's single release. They were really fucking cool.
Young Robot.
You know what I love the most about Nashville, dude? And this is like, it's a side. It goes beyond how friendly of a scene that we have across. I used to even think that like the Broadway scene was like this cutthroat, and now I know a bunch of folks in that scene, and even they are just like really good to one another. But like the fact that there's no bullshit as far as the musical ability goes, like everyone, like I'm really saying this like honestly and earnestly, like everyone that I have seen and everywhere I go, the level of musicianship is like the bar has been set, and like people are just exceeding it. Like there is really not a lot of shit that I see that I'm like, I don't know if that's cutting it. Like 99.99% of the time I'm like, yeah. And it took me traveling away from Nashville for the first time in a long time. I was seeing this like little acoustic duet in Wisconsin when I was on a little vacation last summer, and I looked at my girlfriend and was like, are they really getting away with this shit right now? And she goes, William, like, first of all, relax. You've had a million spotted cows. You're feeling it, all right? You're in Wisconsin. You don't have to drive. You're having a good time. You're cutting loose. But we're not in Nashville anymore, dude. And I was like, oh, fuck, man, like, have I been there that long? Around such creative, artistic, and just musically able people that I forgot what music looks like outside of Nashville. So, like, here's to anyone playing music in Nashville. Like, you're not only cutting it, like, you're fucking exceeding the expectation. We all are. Us included here, I believe firmly. It's made me a better musician, I can tell you that much, so.
Yeah, I totally agree. Everyone, you have, well, I mean, it is, we do have a great scene, but, like you're saying, there's a certain bar, so there's, like, you have to meet that bar, and it's like, I think what that bar is like, it's not only talent, but you have to be doing something, you have to stand out in some way. Mm-hmm. It's like,
you do. It's true.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite ways? I call it peacocking, the standing out.
I like that.
Yeah.
So let's go, and I'll go last. What is your favorite way to stand out? Or
man.
A couple favorite ways. Like, what do you like to do to stand
So this
out?
is kind of personal, but good question, man.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't play an instrument, and I'm not a musician. but I almost have like this pride in that because I'm like I'm in Nashville and I don't make music.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's like that's kind of a pretentious thing, like, but.
I told you he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm a
I mean,
all right, piece of shit. What's your thing?
I'd say humor. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Right.
You piece of shit.
And stage presence. Both of those are what I think are super important for my performance. And standing out and being like, somebody, something memorable, and that like you would, and I guess that's what you guys were talking about, like as far as the bar in Nashville, it's like you have to do something that like separates you from the crowd, the pack, which it feels like a lot of people do. Like I feel like everybody's like individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah, it's almost hard to be like, oh, that group is all in the same. Like, there's really no group.
Right, that's what I'm thinking
it's
about.
like
Like,
everyone's
of
kinda
of
doing
a
their
lot of
own-
the people that I
feel
know,
like-
like they all have their own thing.
Yeah. I feel like it used to be a lot more cliquey. Like, I moved here in 2015, and like, it was a lot more like gatekeepy. I feel like, where it's
I believe
like
that, and I'm sure.
segmented, you know. And it's
Mhm.
like these people play shows with these people at these venues.
Mm.
But the thing is, those people aren't around anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see
Yeah.
them on bills doing shit. And it's like, that's because you guys only played your shows with your people. And it's like, you had a fucking stick up your ass. And it's like there's one band I'm thinking of right now that's not one of the ones I was just thinking of. But they are based here, but they don't play here unless they're opening for a huge touring act. And it's like, you wouldn't even know they're from here unless you knew, because they don't represent Nashville. It's like you guys just, you don't give a fuck about Nashville, but you cut your teeth here. And it's like, kind of like, fuck you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, there was a lot of that back in the Northeast when I was in college, in my college band, before I moved to Nashville. And, you know, I've always personally been about the local scene above anything else. Like, my dream would be to become famous. I mean, like, look, let's not lie here. Why the fuck are we doing this? And not for my own selfish reasons. Like, look, why I play music is this long answer that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but one of the biggest pleasures that I think that I would get from that is coming back to the hometown, the old haunts, and like doing cool shit and trying to help out the other folks that are trying to be on the come up as well. Like, undeniable. And not that, like, you know, we're doing, you know, God's work out here, but like over the summer
really important.
In particular, I haven't sent out a booking email in a long time, which thank God, it is the biggest pain in the ass. We have a manager. He doesn't even want to fucking deal with the booking emails. All the shows that we played over the summer were out of town bands who reached out to us personally asking if we would play with them. And the answer was like, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, come through. And like, dude, listen, like, that's great. You guys are from New Orleans. You guys are from South Florida, whatever. Yeah, let's do it. This club is great. We do play there. Let's promote it and hope for the best. I hope there's a good crowd for you guys, and I hope that at the end of it, whatever money we make can go into your gas tank or into your wallet. Prime example, they're not out-of-towners, but Scarlet Magnum.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, we got off stage. Everyone was having a great time. You were there. I was just relieved that we had a good turnout, you know, because, again, Sundays can be kind of weird. I was also having some anxiety, as per usual. And Ozzy, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Ozzy and Jackson.
Yes, guys, fellas, for real, you blew my fucking mind.
Great,
and I'm so
great
proud
guys.
of you, and let's do it over and over again if you're listening. Like, you always have my support.
Oh, dude, I don't mean to sound condescending. I was going to say they're good kids. Like, I'm that much older than them. I'm not. But
Neither of us are, but
Yeah.
I'm always like that, man. I'd be like, oh, that Kris Jackson, he's a good fucking kid. It's like,
Yeah.
dude,
He's
he's
a
got a
good
kid. This
fucking
kid's got
guy.
a kid.
But, man, let me tell you, they are young. I think they're both, like, around 20, and they kick so much fucking
Oh,
ass.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
they're awesome. I saw them at Dark Matter a while back. I think you were there.
Yeah,
you were.
that's the first time I saw them actually.
Same.
Yeah, and it's that fearlessness that I admired seeing so
Mm.
much, and I immediately was like, oh, dude, yeah, they get it. But long story short, they came up, so we didn't book the show. If they didn't, cassette stressed it, but I'm pretty sure Scarlet Magnum was like handling that show as far as like promoting and booking and whatever.
I think that's right.
Well, they came to us with like some cash, and I was like, well, hey, like, yo, like, what's the deal? Like, are you guys on the road? They're like, no. I was like, are you planning on going on the road? Will this money help you out? Well, we're going in the studio to release our EP, and like with tonight's money, like on our end, that's going towards that. And I was like, well, here's this much money more towards that. I was like, we don't need this. I would rather see this go towards your finished product.
Well, that's dope, man.
And he was just like, no, man. And I was like, no, dude, I'm like, look, I have a job. My rent has been paid. I had a great time playing tonight, and if this is my way that I could be helpful to you, power fucking to you, man. Get the EP. I was like, but I better fucking hear this album out, and I want to hear it soon.
Yeah.
It better rock. It better be indicative of what I saw on stage tonight. And he was so stoked, gave him a hug, and I was like, let's fucking book up again soon, man. You guys were awesome. And like, that's not me being like this, like, you know, oh, I'm so good. It was the least I could do in that moment.
Yeah, that's
you know?
what it's all about, man.
You have to be. You got to be supportive every which way you can. You know. So.
Yep. And you know, people remember that. You know.
Oh, for sure. I'll
Like,
remember that.
Not
forever.
that's a reason to do it.
Yeah.
But like,
well, you know, folks have been
what
kind
goes around comes around.
to me like that in the past, so I try to remember that and pay that forward. And you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You know. So yeah, long story short, like, don't deny where you're from and the people you're around, because it's kind of all of our duties to help one another and lift each other up, you know.
Can you imagine coming back and playing Cobra if you were like...
I fucking dream of it.
Dude.
I dream of it. I want it so bad.
It's funny you say that. You guys know All Them Witches?
Oh my god, yeah, dude, they're
Yeah.
freaking incredible.
I saw them at East Room, like 3 years ago. Like, and they'd already fucking hit it big at that point, you know? And man, it's like you're saying, like, there's certain artists that it's like, even when they're on that level, it's like, that's their favorite thing to do, is do these ninja shows.
Yeah.
Like, just sneak one in there in a fucking small venue. Like,
right.
They're just like, that's what it's about, man.
And you know the energy is going to be incredible. And you know that everyone who is there, like, is dying to be there.
Oh my god. I saw,
Yeah.
So I saw All Them Witches at Spewfest. I think it was Spewfest 4 back, it would be like 2019, I guess. And it was a whole festival, but they closed it out. And man, so if you guys don't know, Alice, Spewfest is it's Cobra and East Room. So you got shows going on both sides of the street.
That sounds awesome. When was this?
They I don't think they've done it in the last couple of years, but they used to do it every year.
Sounds awesome.
It sounds
dude.
like before my time living here. Otherwise, I would have totally been at that.
Yeah. But it's an all night thing, and you got bands playing like both venues all the time. So like if you go, it's almost like going to a fucking amusement park. You have to keep like a schedule so you know what's going on where.
Love that.
Right, yeah.
And
Dude,
like
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and one ticket gets you in for both.
Oh man,
dude, it's
so
the
they don't
fucking
do it
best.
anymore. Or they do.
I haven't seen, if they have, I haven't seen it pop up.
Dude, let's make it happen.
Dude, yeah, fucking make
Dude, if it's
Spewfest
not
happen.
doing
yeah, whoever's in charge of that, come
Right.
on.
Yeah, if they're not, we could just do a
Make-
similar thing.
Call it Spewfest also.
Yeah. Spewfest 2.0.
I gotta say too, I think my love for. I came to Nashville without a band. I had recorded this EP by myself. I played all the instruments on it. Not the coolest shit I ever did, but I did it. You know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to have those talents on those instruments and whatever. I was able to find the band as we know it now as quickly as I did, but also was able to have been so accepted into the community, and I was scared. I didn't know what it was gonna be like. I didn't know if people were gonna be friendly. I didn't even know if like people were gonna enjoy what I was doing or the way that I played music or the way that I sang, and like people were super friendly. You know, it all started, you know, my good friend Dylan Taylor, who's a phenomenal musician and artist in this area. Like she's like with like the OG, like when I met her, everything changed. She started introducing me to folks and just being a good pal and kind of set the example of like what it means to be a contributing artist in the area. And from there, things took off. one of the first gigs I played after COVID. Sorry,
After Cobra.
Was the Nirvana Nevermind tribute show at the Exit Inn,
Nice.
thrown by Corey Tucker, and I was scared shitless. And then after that, I met all these people that I still know to this day, and it was just like a chain reaction of like it was like that moment got me even further into it, and yeah. So I think any chance to help pay that forward,
Yeah, man.
is great.
Yeah, it's like we're taking a lot of blows here. Like Exit In, is always on the up and down, and then like
They're back, or they're coming back.
yeah,
I can't remember when they're
like that.
starting, but yeah. Fortunately, that's okay.
yeah.
It did change ownership, but I
Mercy
remember at
Lounge,
first
High Watt, Cannery.
Yeah, man. And
Mercy and Cannery made me really sad.
that
broke my heart.
That was sad for me. So the first time I went to Cannery was my girlfriend and we had just started dating, and this awesome band called the Dead Horses. I'm a little brain fried. They're from Wisconsin. They're like this folk Americana. Some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard. She goes, oh my God, because she knows these folks personally. She goes, they're coming to Nashville. We got to go. So I bought us a couple tickets, and that was the first time I went to Cannery, and I was like, no, that was actually at Mercy Lounge. Correct me. I'm sorry, my bad. That was at
Same
Mercy
thing.
Lounge. The same building, whatever. Yeah. And I was like, this is so groovy. I hope I get to play here. I'm hearing all these rumors that they're going to shut down. And then later that spring, I got to play Women to the Front, sponsored by John, which was at Mercy Lounge. That was great. And then a week later, I played Zacapalooza, which was Zach from Guillotine, the drummer. That was his event where he put in both rooms. He stuck us in the High Watt, and we had probably my most favorite show we've ever played, period, was there. It was awesome. Packed room. We were on fire. We played Raise the Black Flag for the first time live there, and I stage dove. So it was
nice, dude.
The energy was up, dude. And it reminded me of a lot of the venues in New York City that I used to hang out in and play at also. So like it had this old-timey vibe. So seeing that go away was really kind of, I was like, oh, boo-hoo. But at least I got to be there, That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go to the 90s New Year's that my so-called band put on.
Okay, yeah.
I used to do it every year at Cannery. Actually, the one time I got COVID, I got it at Cannery Ballroom, seeing the 90s New Year's show.
I think that's awesome. That's so
yeah,
cool.
in 2022, I think. Yeah, we were turning to 2022.
Damn.
Yeah, and I got COVID at that show.
I remember that New Year's going into, not 2022, but like speaking of COVID and all that shit, going into 2020.
We're going into it, so
pre-COVID, my buddies and I kind of looked at each other like, I don't know how it. I think something fucked up is gonna happen.
No way. Y'all feel like I had a premonition.
I feel like I might have. Just it didn't feel right. The vibe was off.
For sure.
I got fucking deathly ill. Not really. I got really fucking sick, like bedridden, which I don't really get sick, but like. I don't get sick.
I'm a man.
I was fucking knocked out, like in bed for like 3 or 4 days, and this was like February 2020, and then I'm seeing all this shit about COVID, and I'm like, oh well, there you go. And I'm like, okay, well,
that's probably
it. And I haven't really like been really sick since then.
You got the immunity early. You
Yeah.
had the super COVID.
Day one.
OG COVID.
Yeah.
I had Omicron, which even like whatever 3 generations down still fucked me up.
How long?
That's a 3rd generation Pokemon. Yeah.
It was shitty for 5 days.
That long, man, huh?
Yeah, well, it was really shitty for like 2 days, and then still like kind of shit.
That's kind of how mine was. It's like I was out for like 3 days, and I was still sick after 5.
Yeah.
Very similar. I got vaccinated late in the game, and not for any weird reason. I was like, it just was a decision that I'd made. I didn't get it on the first round. I was working in the public, and I never got sick. But when the Delta variant came back, I started seeing younger folks getting like really sick again. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to take this as a sign. I'm going to get myself vaccinated. I wasn't afraid. Like, I just thought like, oh man, I made it without getting sick. It's over now. And then it came back, and I was like, all right, well, now we got to strap up because this might get serious. So I did get vaccinated. I felt fine. I had no qualms going into it. And I didn't get sick until it was the day after Christmas, in 2021. I remember because I was at the bar watching the Packers go Pack go. We won, and the next day I'm laying on the couch, and my girlfriend was like, "Dude, you are burning up." It's like, "Nah, I'm fine. I'm just hungover. I think I went a little too hard last night." She was like, "Dude, like you are," and for like a day, I just sweated out, and the room smelled like a goddamn boys' locker room. And then the following, like that Tuesday, I felt perfectly fine, back on my feet, no issues, no more soreness, no more pain. I was like, man, what was that? That was crazy.
Yeah.
But fortunately, that was all there was to it. I didn't get the respiratory, shit, and the fever. I thought I was just a little like, man, I went a little hard last night. I should ease out, dry up for a couple of days here, shit.
Right.
So
Yeah, it affected
I got lucky.
everybody
I got
differently.
lucky,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like, from what I understand, a lot of the people that really fucked them up had pre-existing conditions. It's like if you're in moderately good health, it wasn't nearly as detrimental to you as like someone in old age.
Yeah.
Or
And you're in pretty good fucking
bad
shape.
conditions.
I try, man. I could definitely be in better shape. I've always erred on the side of being underweight since I was a teenager and I hit my growth spurt. So, and that's just because, but dude, in my early 20s, I was lifting a lot and I was eating a lot of food, dude. I was kind of big, dude. I was like 165. My neck was fucking huge, but it's hard. You got to keep up with it. I don't, I like running a lot for the mental benefits of how it makes me feel. So I go to the gym a few times a week. I run a lot. But it's tough. If you're going to run, you got to eat, you got to take care of yourself, you got to get well rested. And a lot of times I'm so busy that I don't. So I have to keep an eye on it.
For sure.
I don't go to the gym nearly as much as I should, but every time I go, I just run. That's all I do.
It's good for you. It's good for your brain. It's good for your breath. I jump around a lot on stage, but I feel it a lot the next day sometimes. My Les Paul traditional is a heavy guitar. That's why I like the Junior so much, but sometimes I like the sound of the traditional more. And I'm like, yeah, I did it. That was awesome. And the next day, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, I shouldn't be having these problems.
Oh, for sure.
Someone give me a protein shake. God damn.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I'm not in great shape, and I was probably at the time I had been vaccinated, but I'd not been boosted because it was early 22, and so it was around the time I think it had been because I'd gotten vaccinated in May. So June, July, August, September, October, November, December. It had been over 6 months, which is you're supposed to get boosted supposedly. So like, maybe that's why also too that I had a worse experience. Were you like, had you been vaccinated recently when you had COVID?
So I got vaccinated in September of 2021. That's when I got my the second shot. You have to get the first one, wait a little while, get the second one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. I got that shot, and I didn't feel like again, very fortunate because I know some people are like, dude, I was out for like a day. Like, oh my god, I feel like I got hit by a bus. Like, I was okay and was fine. Like, it didn't. So I don't know, but it had been months later. So yeah, that same year, but in December, so October, November, so about a few months afterward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was more recent. So that could also have had an effect on why your case was mild.
Yeah, which thankfully. And we're getting ready. We might be traveling internationally here soon.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so we are.
Do you have to? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. I got to look into it because we might be going soon. Our guys in Brazil, the record label that we're signed to.
Oh fuck!
They've been desperately trying to get us down there to do.
That sounds fun.
Doesn't it?
Freaking right. And the best part is, so Leo is from Brazil originally. He moved here to America when he was 16. So. He's got family and this and that, and so it's gonna be, I think, a cool homecoming for him. Also, I've never been to South America. I've always been infatuated with the culture of Latin America and stuff like that. Musically, but also just culturally, like his family and one of my best friends growing up, Victor. Half of his side of the family is from Brazil, they're Portuguese, and just like that loving vibe is very cool. So, and they love rock and roll music down there.
Fuck
so.
yeah, man.
When you look at the statistics of our streams and what's going on in the world, which is we're fortunate enough to have access to those resources, a lot of it's coming from South America.
Hell yeah.
Which is really cool. And, so I want to get down there soon and celebrate and be able to give a good performance and hopefully see a bunch of people and expose ourselves to a different, area other than the U.S. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, getting back to the COVID thing, like, I don't know what the international rules are. We got some.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can
some.
fly without anything at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even have to wear masks on flights anymore. But I
pretty
think
sure.
You did have to on international flights at a time.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to get vaccinated to fly internationally. You just had to test negative.
Yeah. I got boosted after I got COVID, not long after, but I've not had any shots since. And it's still going around.
Randomly too,
You just
which
want,
is
like-
weird. Some people get sick and they're like, I didn't even have COVID. I'm so sick.
You should just inject yourself with anything you can find. It's like
Dude,
I miss
not
getting
certain
injected.
that. Yeah, I miss getting vaccines.
It's my favorite pastime.
I remember the
yeah.
first one I had, it was fine. And the second one, I don't know if the nurse did something different or whatever, blah, 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 but my fucking arm bruised up. I had like a huge bruise on my arm when she did it.
You almost gotta
It was
work
on my
it
tattoo.
in. You gotta kind of.
It was weird.
Yeah, dude. I don't like needles, man. That shit's weird. It's
Yeah.
grosses me out. I did a.
I'm
Dude,
with you
we're
on
gonna
that.
bang some fucking.
We're gonna slam some age.
heroin.
Like,
All right. So you better get over that fucking fear right
yeah,
now.
well, dude, a lot of people look at me sometimes because of my size and the way I carry myself. I'm like, oh man, that must be the fucking that's the coke guy, or that's the he knows it. I don't take drugs. I barely smoke marijuana, and anymore.
You're like Heroin Bob. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen SLC Punk?
Yes, dude. Yeah,
Heroin
yeah.
Bob.
Heroin Bob, dude.
Right,
yeah.
Because he didn't do any drugs either.
Yeah, it just
And
was
he
that.
hated needles and all of that.
Yeah,
But so that's why they called him Heroin Bob.
so crazy. That movie made me cry.
What's that?
Yeah, it's a sad ending.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
What movie is
Spoiler alert.
SLC
SLC Punk.
Punk.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Shaggy.
You've never seen it, bro?
Oh, it's great.
What's it about?
Couple punks from Utah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, living a punk rock lifestyle.
I'll check
Yeah,
that out.
and Matthew Lillard, I think, is in it.
Don't spoil the end for Alex.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
It's very realistic,
Yeah,
and I don't say that sarcastically.
yeah.
Is this like Train Spotters or?
No,
Okay.
We won't spoil the end for anybody, but yeah, it's a good movie.
Great
Okay.
movie.
I'll check
Heroin
that out.
Bob.
When
No,
I
you're not
matter of fact,
Jesus. You're Bob.
when I was in college, I went to State University, so we had to take electives.
Where'd you go to school at?
I went to
Let me ask
Western Connecticut State University. Yeah, old WestCon, BestCon.
Damn.
And so we had to take a certain amount of classes that were like state requirements, and some of them were in the arts. So I took Acting 101 my freshman year. Just I was like, all right, that could be cool. Whatever.
that's
A couple of my
cool.
buddies were taking it, and one of the assignments we had to do was a monologue. And I did the monologue from SLC Punk where he's walking through the mall on the elevator, and he's like,
Yeah.
you know what it's really about being a punk? And he goes on this 10-minute long thing, and my professor loved it. He was like, first of all, you got the chain wallet and the Doc Martens. So I knew you were gonna pick something good, and you picked one of my favorite scenes from one of my favorite movies. And I was like, thanks, professor. Yeah. I just got my nose pierced at the time too, freshly 18.
And you talk like that too?
Oh yeah, dude. Thanks, man. I'm a little dweeby
Is
little
your
fuck.
Cartman?
Yeah.
Yes, that's you.
Thanks, Professor.
Just trying my best to be cool. Still blushing. It's funny. There was a lot of theater girls in that class that I was like, man, that chick's so hot. And they would talk to me like, hey, Will, and I'd be like, what? Like, what? Yeah, man. Yeah. Word. That's cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Well, you can say things to Will, and he will have that same reaction on April 14th when you see him at the basement.
Yeah.
That you're definitely going to. I know already.
Join us Friday afternoon. We'll blow off some steam. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Who else is on that bill, do you know?
I can tell you.
Yeah.
Let me take a look real
yeah.
quick.
Blowing off some steam, not the only thing I'll be blowing off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's see.
And while
From
you're,
behind.
Yeah.
yeah.
Boof that.
Hey, call back.
Ew.
While you're pulling that up, and then April 15th again, Raise the Black Flag is going to be out on all platforms, probably. All the
platforms,
streaming platforms.
Sure.
And I'm just gonna say that. And
Yeah, you got it.
and along with their music video, which I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, no, I'm very eager for everyone to see it. So, and it was really neat too. So we've gotten lucky with certain things, and one of the coolest things about where we did that music video, our good pal Dave, who Leo and I both met doing a rather serious songwriting project from the month of October to December. That's really about all I can say about that. Offered his studio space to us, and he said, man, I mean, it's already set up like a film set. Just do it there. My wife's not going to be home. Like, I don't care. Just come through. I like you guys.
Damn.
And yeah, so we're really thankful for that. You know, huge shout out to Dave. Thank you again for having us there. And yeah, it was actually really funny. Leo shaved the sides of my head that day because I was overdue for a haircut and I didn't have time. And I just brought my little razor and he was like, all right, here you go. Stand still, motherfucker. Here we go. So yeah, it just, in the sleeper signal sense of just get it done. Just get it done. It's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. And we're going to look back and be like, we got it done. We did it, you know. Shoestring budget as always, you know. Right. All right, so who's on this bill here? Let's see. Again, this is April 14th at the Basement. For the Get Happier Fridays, we're going to be playing with Amanda Stone and a band called the Midtones, both of which I'll be meeting for the first time. I'm very excited about it. I haven't got around to it, but I'll probably peep their music and get an idea. And again, it's going to be outside. It's part of their summer series fest. So you know, if you're there, come hang out with us afterwards. Maybe we'll grab a beer down the road or in the parking lot or whatever.
Dude, yeah, we got to.
Crush some crispy cold ones or some ice
some
water.
Come
get crispy creams.
For some reason, I thought that's what you're going to say. Crush some Krispy Kremes.
You know, bro. You know.
The secret to I wake up every morning, I eat a dozen of Krispy Kreme. No.
Right.
Yeah, Alex, come get drunk with us after the show.
Yeah, within reason and responsibly.
Yeah. Take an Uber home.
Of course.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have any shows besides the one coming up?
That's the only one booked.
Okay.
Currently.
Well, check out Moonlight Drowns as well.
There'll be more.
Is your solo music released anywhere?
No.
Okay, well then
So
check out
the only way to
Moonlight
see it
Drowns.
is,
Yeah, and yes.
the solo music. Or check me out. There'll be more to come. KRIS, Kris Jackson.
That's the first time I met you was seeing you play. And we became
that's
immediately pals, dude.
At
Kris Jackson.
Springwater.
Kris
Jackson, William James. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I played with no shirt on. You came up and fucking rocked that shit. Yeah, we were, dude. We were in the heat of the summer. When was this, man?
Dude, this was the first. That was the first show I'd done in a long fucking time.
I saw you play at Springwater, but I think that was a different night.
It was a different one. This was the first show I did. It was in August of 2021.
That's right.
That's wild.
Exactly
this was before I met you then.
Yeah. Because we didn't meet until maybe the album release show in July. No, it was before that. It was before we released the album.
I might be wrong, but I think we met when you came on the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got Cordy to do the album release show, and she was like, "Hey, you want to do this podcast?" Because she was doing the podcast with you.
And then that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the first time I met you guys when you came over.
So
I think that was the same deal with us too. I think the first time we met, or because you knew Cordy, and Cordy is the one who invited you on the show. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is right.
Town.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, we met at that show in August of 21. And it was kind of a fluke show. We got put on it, and because we were in the process of writing and recording the album, we did that show, and then we didn't do another one until I think the fucking album release show in August of 22.
Was that
or July of 22?
Was that the same show with our buddies Cheating Alethea from out of town?
Maybe it was the Dumpster Fire Fest.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Shout out to Springwater. That's holy ground, man. I've never had a bad time there.
So yeah, that's where we met. We did the show together that day. I feel like doing a show together.
I feel like a bad music support. I haven't been in the Springwater in quite a long time. You know what? I gotta get out there. I'll be there. The next show that's there, I'm going.
Dude, let's do a show.
There's probably something going on right now.
We'll catch you there. We'll see.
Let's do another show there together.
I'd be with it. I'd be
down.
I'm yeah.
All right. I could definitely get something going. Dude, let's fucking do a show at Springwater.
Let's let it rip.
You heard it now.
You heard it now.
We'll schedule it for eventually in the summer.
Cash only, man.
Are you around in the summer? This summer?
I hope so.
That's like foreboding. It's like, geez, Kris.
Or what?
No, I'm gonna be alive and well. I'm not peaking until I'm 45. That's gonna be when I'm like Superman level, because that was my dad. Dude. My dad was in his mid-40s, like that. He was like fucking like Arnold, man. He was like big, jacked, 6'4". He's still doing great. 65. God bless him. You know?
God bless him. That's what's up.
So anyway, I will be alive in the summer.
All right. So yeah, we're
if everything goes according to plan.
we'll look for summertime sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. Alice, thanks for sticking around. Links to both of these gentlemen and what they do down below. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for having me yet again, guys. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks.